Here we are, it's a Monday, I'm in Stockholm, I'm in Gamla stan, the ancient Swedish part of the city here. And today, on this Philosophical Monday, I'm going to talk about a concept it's kind of complicated that I'm starting to notice with a lot of my students in the 4-week natural program as I see them immersed in pickup for 4 weeks. And that is this weird, false sense of abundance that is misleading to my students. And when they have that false sense of abundance, they then think that they're okay when really they're not. They become too emotionally, basically restrained. And so what I need you to do with that false sense of abundance is to kind of have what's called an emotional burst. And by having an emotional burst, you'll really have an emotional transformation. So, this is kind of complicated, and I haven't yet ever described this ever before, so I'm going to kind of think off the top of my head and philosophize it out into the world. So, first of all, let me kind of run through it in my own mind. The false sense of abundance, that comes... Imagine a guy who's socially well-adjusted. I'm thinking of a particular student in mind, and I can reference 3 or 4 more who are pretty similar. If you're socially well-adjusted, if you can fit fine into society, you've got friends, you're invited to parties, you've got a bit of personality, but you don't have a girlfriend, you're not getting laid, and you're not the life of the party. You're very socially comfortable, okay? You've got people around you. You're the kind of guy who girls like, but they don't love. You're the kind of guy who girls like, but they don't hate, okay? Whereas a guy who really is successful with women, he is going to be hated by chicks and loved by chicks. If you've got a lot of girls around you, then you're going to have a false sense of abundance because everyone likes you on face level because you're socially well-adjusted, you can speak to them, you can be friendly, you can be nice, you don't really pose a threat or a risk, or you don't really risk upsetting them. Not that that's bad. I mean, you can live your entire life like that, but not have that selectivity. So, what do you do about that? Because this is a common story for many, many guys watching videos like this, working 9-to-5 jobs in your home life, all around the world, watching this on your computers. I had this when I was 20 years old. I was born in 1985, and I remember it was like 2003 or 2004 when I had the same thing. And it was weird because I was getting good grades at university, and I was getting invited to parties. Like everybody's 21st, I was getting invited to that. I was in the football team. I had a great body, I was fit, I was strong. I was even smart enough to teach other students psychology at my university that I would later drop out of and work as a pickup coach. But I didn't have a fucking girlfriend. So weird, and I didn't fucking know why. But I had this false sense of abundance around me, and it was weird because my other friends who were like bigger assholes or idiots or drunks or aggressive or macho, it was those guys that would get the girls. Whereas I was like, they used to call me Diamonds because I was a girl's best friend. Okay, I had a little bit of a personality, but I wasn't really amazing. So it got me more and more frustrated, but I didn't know what to do about it. So it led to drinking. I would drink alcohol a lot in clubs, get fucking wasted, and my frustration would come out that way. I would walk around my university campus looking at girls that I couldn't get, that were right there in front of me, I could reach and touch them, hug them, kiss them. They would tell me all of their secrets on MSN Messenger, but they wouldn't fucking date me or sleep with me, which, as a grown man, everybody eventually needs to get that. And then eventually, I didn't know what the fuck to do. So, what I did, and what I want to teach you, is I brought upon myself an emotional tsunami, all right? Fucking retarded. But I kind of had to prove it to myself, and this is before I knew anything about pickup industry, before even the book The Game was published, and years before I got into RSD. So I brought an emotional tsunami upon myself, and this is fucking fucked. I've never really admitted this to the world. After asking a lot of girls on dates, and I would actually have to call their home phone, because this was before texts, I would have to email them and ask them on dates, and I wouldn't get anything, right? And in those days, Facebook and MySpace didn't even exist, so people would do dates almost in an old-fashioned kind of a way. Fuck, I mean, I must be pretty old. It was like more than 10 years ago. And nobody would go on a fucking date with me. So what I did was, out of frustration, out of being emotional and feeling like a fucking loser, I worked my ass off, saved up a shitload of money, and I sent out, and this is no joke, to the crew here that I'm working with, I sent out, I believe it was 18 bouquets of flowers, like delivered to the homes of the girls that I knew, the addresses that I had from like MSN Messenger and nightclubs that I would go to and friends of friends. You know what happened when I sent out 18 bouquets of fucking flowers? And you know what's even fucking sadder? I sent a bouquet of flowers to the receptionist at the office of the psychologist that I was going to, okay? Totally fucked up. By doing this, I knew I was like, how can I 100% completely put myself out there? And it was almost like a sign of frustration or passive aggression. I knew that if I sent out all those flowers, that I probably wouldn't get anything back. And guess what? I fucking didn't. I got like 18 really nice messages and emails and MSN messages saying, oh my God, the flowers are gorgeous, thank you so much. And I wrote back to all of them, hey, do you want to go on a date? And almost everyone gave me an example of, or some variation, saying, you're a really nice guy, but you're just not my type. And I was like, well, fuck this. Like I had a fucking emotional tsunami because I was rejected by everyone. What more can a fucking 19-year-old guy do than send everybody flowers? And they're not cheap. They're like $200 a pop. And when you earn $130 in a day, it takes months to work that up. It doesn't matter. If you don't have any girls or any friends or anything interesting to do, then there's nothing else to spend your money on. So I did that, and it was fucked. I remember being so fucking frustrated that I couldn't do anything, that I was like punching a fucking tree, and my knuckle was bleeding because I wanted to feel some kind of pain or something. I was emo as shit. And then, instead of me approaching girls, like before I did that whole fucking ordeal, such an idiot, Brisbane, Australia, sending out the flowers, before I did that, I would approach a girl like, hey, Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Stifle, hey, kind of like a bit of a Ned Flanders. But after I did that, I went to the club and I didn't even look at chicks. I was like, don't even try. I'd get a beer and I wouldn't even give a shit. I'm like, don't fucking talk to me, girl. Whoever the fuck you are, I don't want to know because I can't ever fucking get you. And that look in my eye was like, I genuinely don't fucking give a fuck. It was as though, in like an ancient sense, I had achieved some kind of rite of passage. Like I had learnt what I needed to learn emotionally, and I knew that there was no way to control the girls or control their reaction or to get anything from them, and that I just had to, accept the fact that I can't control other human beings. And that look in my eye, when I would literally, like a girl would be like, hey, can you buy us a drink? And I'd be standing there with a beer, like brooding. I'd be like, don't fucking talk to me because you don't want to date me when I send you flowers. And the look on my face of like indifference and authenticity and I admire you, but I can't get you. All of a sudden, I was like, in a way, a grown man. So, that's my story. What then do? You need to bring upon yourself your own emotional tidal wave, and it will feel embarrassing and shitty or whatever. Some people do it when they go traveling. It's kind of like a natural rite of passage to travel when you're, between 18 and 23. Some people miss that boat where they go out there, they get drunk, they embarrass themselves, they make 100 moves on girls and they all fail, and they kind of cross that threshold, they kind of grow up or something. Well, if you're not there yet, you have to go and do it, okay? If not in your own city, or if not with one girl, put your heart on your sleeve, declare your love, and take that fucking rejection on the chin, the way that I took, the 18 rejections of the fucking flowers that I sent out to chicks. I even got a discount for how many flowers I was sending out. And when you do that, and you get heartbroken, you, like as a grown man, as a guy, when I was 19, bawling my fucking eyes out like a little bitch because nobody would kiss me, you have to go through that, okay? And it's like an emotional plateau that you burst through. The problem is, if you live your entire life staying as Mr. Nice Guy, staying as the diamonds of the girl's best friend, then you'll have the illusion that you can go and meet all these cute girls and they're going to like you, but none of them will be with you. None of them will look at you like you're a grown man or emotionally strong. So if you're immersing yourself in pickup and going out every single night and not balancing your life and not facing your own emotional fears and creating that tidal wave, because you've got girls in front of you, it'll be enough to trick yourself that you've got abundance when really you don't. It's like you're going out every night, week after week, 6-7 nights a week, always talking to chicks, always getting phone numbers, but where is the action, the love, the romance, the drama, girls hating you and girls loving you? It simply won't be there. So I ask my guys, okay, I'm speaking to one of them right now, I ask my guys to balance their life so they don't get lulled into that false sense of abundance as the truck comes by. And the thing is, it's good to work hard and pick up, but it's only when you take yourself away from the bar or your friends or your social circle that has women that you go, for example, to an art gallery or a museum, or you play golf at the driving range on your own, that you stop and you actually indulge those negative feelings of this isn't fucking fair. This is not fair that you don't have the girls that you deserve in your own life. And that's when you'll be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm taking some kind of action that is going to be a tsunami, that is going to be a fucking tidal wave, and that will it's going to upset you. Accept that fact. But let it upset you like Tyler Durden crashing his car in Fight Club, and he's like laughing like a crazy person. Cry it the fuck out, get fucking drunk, be upset, and then look at girls a whole different way. Look at people a whole different way. And honestly, it happens to every guy going from being a beta male to an alpha male. Everybody has some version of it in their life. And maybe watching this video, you've already had that version in the context with women, but maybe you need it in the context of your family or friends or business or education or whatever it might be. Very philosophical, very emotional and very deep, but bring upon yourself a tidal wave of emotional risk that you risk massive heartache that you actually kind of have to go through in order to grow and flip over that plateau and not get lulled into the false sense of abundance, which is going to prevent you from having the look in your face to get chicks at a later date. Cool video, red everything, like the logo of Alex Social, red jacket, red topic, emotional topic. Check out the other videos on this channel with the same color thumbnail for the same topic, and be sure to subscribe because I love sharing this kind of deeper philosophical stuff with you. I'm Alex, catch you later.